It matters a great deal to have as many Africans in global spaces of influence as we can.
Colorful images of Dambisa Moyo, Zambia, Oxford University, Kofi Annan, Ghana, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Chiamanda Ngozi Adichie, Nigeria, Yale University.
With a focus on African human capital, Africa can be an equal player in the 21st century.
Inequality is logo, a graphic black equal sign with an orange slash through it. Hashtag inequality is. Lydia Kamunto Bosire, founder, 8B Education Investment Fund. A black woman with an afro hairstyle wearing multiple strands of pearls around her neck and a herringbone green skirt suit.
Inequality is the fact that Africa has one of the lowest enrollment rates in tertiary education in the world. An even starker number is enrollment of African students in global universities.
Experience turns on your intuition. It connects you to storytelling. It connects you to your family, to your community. And in that way, artists can tap into the power of empathy and channel it for policy change and important solutions and community cohesion in a way that other approaches just never will.
Inequality is logo, a graphic black equal sign with an orange slash through it. Hashtag inequality is. Laura Callanan, founding partner, Upstart Collab, a middle-aged white woman in a blue dress.
Inequality is a structured divide that separates a group of people from the resources and the opportunities that they need to achieve their full potential.
Animated artwork by Vic Muniz, dissecting the use of natural and human resources to highlight commerce, consumption, and job opportunities.
There are a lot of artists who care about the same sorts of topics that other social entrepreneurs are working on.
Tatiana Falizade, posters with the theme of gender injustice.
Artists who are trying to strengthen communities and make them healthier.
Theaster Gates, community housing installation.
Artists who are stewarding the environment.
Matthew Moore, large-scale farming collective.
Artists who want to reform our criminal justice system.
Gregory Sale collaborates on a project with incarcerated individuals.
But they're often on a little island all by themselves, separated from the other robust universe that's developed between impact investors and social entrepreneurs. So the future will be one where we build the bridge and artists are connected to these other folks who share their same goals. The world is facing complex and dynamic problems. We need to be resilient, and what that requires is an ability to respond, to improvise, and to create in the moment. And those are the types of skills that artists can bring.
A montage of artwork by Carlos Alexis Cruz, Dustin Yellen, Sebastian Ruth, J. Rim Lee, Marty Pottinger, Deborah Cullinan, Mary Ellen Carroll, David Gurman, Dave Johnson, Aurora Robeson.
If we can tap into that, it's a powerful force for making change in the world, and it's a powerful force for creating jobs and economic growth and opportunity for everybody.
Inequality is logo. Join the conversation. Hashtag inequality is.
Development that's not sustainable is not, in fact, development. It is a short-term loan against a long-term debt to the future.
Inequality is logo, a graphic black equal sign with an orange slash through it. Hashtag inequality is. Edward Norton, UN Goodwill Ambassador for Biodiversity, a white man wearing a black button-down shirt over a light gray t-shirt.
We treat the ocean like a garbage dump. We treat fisheries as an inexhaustible resource. Same with forests. We treat the atmosphere as a carbon dump. We don't recognize that water has limitations. The way we value the environment is very inextricably intertwined now with all forms of inequality. A lot of the poorest people in the world live stitched in with the ecosystems that the rest of the world is still reliant on. We don't have rainforests in North America to act as a carbon sink, but lots of poor people in the equatorial regions have decisions to make about whether they're going to pursue the same extractive economic models that we pursued, or whether they're going to act as stewards of the forest that the rest of the world needs to stay healthy. And so suddenly we've got this light bulb moment that we're in where the desire to lift more people out of poverty and to create more equality of economic opportunity actually aligns with the agenda to promote a more sustainable interaction with our ecology.
Inequality is logo. Join the conversation. Hashtag inequality is.
Inequality is when the best of science, technology, pace, enthusiasm isn't available for every single human being in the world.
Inequality is logo, a graphic black equal sign with an orange slash through it. Hashtag inequality is. Sue Desmond Hellman, CEO, Gates Foundation, a white woman with short blonde hair and a bright blue shirt and matching blazer.
Inequality of access to a working health system has repercussions that are desperately sad and difficult, not only for the countries involved, but in fact have a big impact and implications for the whole world. So we look at health as a driver towards equality. We think about when markets have neglected the poor, when those normal market forces or the new technology or the great innovations don't get to the poor. So we've started talking about precision public health, making all that great data, information, technology breakthroughs available for populations, no matter what their income. My vision is that every young boy or young girl, when they're born, has the opportunity to dream of anything. If you're blessed with access to resources, education, health, anything seems possible. I want every child to believe that anything is possible.
Inequality is logo. Join the conversation. Hashtag inequality is.
Mass incarceration has had a devastating impact on all Americans. But it's been particularly devastating to the poor and people of color. Black men are 6 times more likely to go to prison for committing the same offenses that white people commit. And so to confront that, we've got to do something about these basic inequalities in American society.
Inequality is logo, a graphic black equal sign with an orange slash through it. Hashtag inequality is. Brian Stevenson, founder, Equal Justice Initiative, a black man with very short hair wearing a royal blue shirt and sweater.
Inequality is racism. Inequality is exploitation of the poor. Inequality is abuse of power. Late one night, when I was a young lawyer in Atlanta, Georgia, I got in my car and I drove home. Had an old beat-up car, and the car didn't always have the radio operating, but this night the radio was operating, and I was just enjoying it so much that when I got to my apartment, I stayed in the car to listen to these songs. And after 10 or 15 minutes, an Atlanta SWAT car showed up. I got out to see what he wanted, and in that instant, this officer drew his weapon, and he said, "Move, and I'll blow your head off." I was 28, been practicing law for about a year, and I knew to say to that police officer, "It's all right, it's okay." But if the same thing had happened to me when I was 16, I probably would have run. And it burdens me that we have kids in this country that have to know how to navigate those situations, who have to deal with the presumption of dangerousness and guilt in ways where their lives are at risk. When you tolerate racial inequality for generations, these inequalities become part of the culture and the political system. We need a generation of people in this country who are dedicated to fighting inequality. Justice doesn't come when you only choose to do what's comfortable and convenient. It sometimes requires you to do uncomfortable and inconvenient things.
Inequality is logo. Join the conversation. Hashtag inequality is.
There is no such thing as a competition of tears. Any inequality or suffering is wrong.
Inequality is logo, a graphic black equal sign with an orange slash through it. Hashtag inequality is. Gloria Steinem, writer and activist, a white woman in her 80s with brown eyes and dyed brown shoulder-length hair, dressed in a black cardigan over a brown shirt.
I was a journalist, but I became aware that I could no longer only write about something, I had to also act on it. When I went to a hearing about abortion, because abortion was then a criminal act and women's lives were greatly endangered by it. I had had an abortion also, and suddenly I realized, wait a minute, why, if 1 in 3 American women, and the numbers are huge all over the world, has needed an abortion at some time in her life, why is that illegal? Why is it life-endangering? And that, for me, was the moment of exploding consciousness, I suppose you could say.
Black and white photos of a young Gloria protesting, attending rallies, and marching in support of a woman's right to choose.
As much as I'm angered every day by opposition to simple fairness and equality, I'm also encouraged every day by what will be the future far beyond me. Inequality is a prison. Some prison cells have too little water and food. Some prison cells have too much food, but they're both prisons. I hope that enough people will organize and force open all cells. However it happens, it has to happen.
Inequality is logo. Join the conversation. #inequalityis.